What does it mean to have moral courage? When first asked this question, my initial thought was that of having courage to support your morals. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, moral courage is defined as the kind of courage which enables a person to remain firm in the face of odium or contempt, rather than depart from what he or she deems the right course. In the face of hatred or apathy, moral courage is when people stand by their beliefs even when threatened by others. But what does this mean for my life? If I were to summarize what it means to have moral courage, I would say that there are three components. These being having the ability to overcome adversity, having a sense of urgency in one's life, and being true to one's beliefs even though they may change with time. For overcoming adversity, Friedrich Nietzsche found that hardship and adversity would be in someone's best interest. The famous Nietzsche line, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger," comes to mind. He believed that man is best equipped for success when under struggle, that they should seek out adversity for the sake of growth and accomplishment. I believe that this is something I can stand by. Not only does adversity make us grow as people, but it makes us aware of our flaws and helps us to realize what it is we can make better in our lives. But what does one do after adversity? You have to be through adversity and come out the other end a changed person. Moral courage is what holds us to our standards of living. It is what we hold on to in the face of adversity. An example of how we can share our battle with challenge is with Tim O'Brien and the book The Things They Carried. Throughout his entire book, he blurs the lines between what is real and what is fiction. He says this is a book of fiction, yet the stories he tells harken back to real life events. In this book, while many of his stories may not have actually happened, the idea of what the story is very real. It is the telling of a story from a veteran that blurs the lines of what is real and what isn't. It is the telling of these stories which has helped Tim O'Brien. Sharing experiences of adversity and difficulty may, in turn, help those in need of guidance. For having urgency in one's life. What is it about our lives that only we have for ourselves? And that is our past, our experiences. No one can take those away from us, no matter who they are or what they do. But what does that mean? It means that yes, the past happened, and yes, we lived through it, but that the present isn't the past. Our lives don't revolve around the past, because if they did, we would live in the past. But we live in the now, the present, the time in which our lives happen. Dwelling on the past will get you nowhere. Looking to the past for answers about the future would be as logical as asking a banana for a taxi ride through Tokyo. The future hasn't happened yet. All we have is now. If we are to exhibit moral courage, then we have to live in the present time and not dwell on the past. According to Alan Watts, if the universe began in the past, then what happened, it was now. But it is still now, and the universe is still beginning now, and it's trailing off like the wake of a ship from now, and as the wake of the ship fades out, so does the past. You can look back there to explain things, but the explanation disappears. You will never find it there. Things are not explained by the past. They're explained by what happens now. In other words, the past was the past. What you do today, whether that is having moral courage or reevaluating your morals, takes urgency. And to live a life that you want to live takes moral courage. Finally, believing in what you believe in. Socrates was someone who believed in his philosophy. He believed that we should build a confidence in our beliefs and not just what follows those of the masses. Having someone decide your morals for you doesn't seem right. When I was a kid, I went to church with my family. This is where many of my quote-unquote morals came from. Going to church every Sunday was a tradition of my family, my parents' family, and their families. However, in the present day, I haven't been to church in ages, because I believe that the purpose of church, of philosophy, and of faith is not to teach followers to believe in a higher power, but instead to offer allegories and short stories that teach moral rightness. According to Socrates, my morals were not decided by myself. Socrates thought that we needed to really think about what we believed and then stand by it. Finally, if you look at a fundamental aspect of human existence, we see that moral courage comes out of human interaction. We are social animals, according to the Dalai Lama, that out of compassion and helping those in need, you'll always be happy. Because we are social animals, the health of the herd is better than the health of the individual. So what does any of this mean? Does this mean that nothing in the world is real? Morality in itself is not defined by an ultimate definition, meaning that morality is like Play-Doh, it can mold, it can change, it is moldable. But there is no definition. The definition of morality comes out of the greatest number of people agreeing on what is right and what is wrong. Through adversity, we grow. Through stories, we learn. From our past, we evolve. Through our beliefs, we are courageous. And through living our lives, we learn morals that we choose to live by. As said before, our morals are moldable, and they're messy. They come from what one believes. Moral courage is something that pertains to each individual differently. Just as a snowflake is unique, every person finds and decides their morals from their experiences differently. We have to accept each other to live in a world in which everyone is so different. To quote Eleanor Roosevelt, we have to face the fact that either all of us are going to die together, or we all are going to learn to live together. And if we are going to live together, we have to talk.